John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and in this episode what I'll be sharing with you guys is my #1 recipe for losing weight. I myself many years ago was overweight and I wasn't in the best of health, so I had to figure out how to turn my health around, and one of the main ways I did that was through juicing. So nowadays I'm a lifelong juicer. I've been juicing now for over 20 years. And this recipe that I'm going to share with you guys is my latest creation that's going to help all you guys that are looking to lose weight. I have another video that I'll post a link to down below. It's entitled The Best Drink Ever Discovered to Lose Weight. And that's where I introduce the concepts of juicing and just talk about juicing and their overall benefits and how it can help you lose weight. And the main summary and the main points are: juicing allows you to concentrate the volume of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables that you get into. Unfortunately, most Americans don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. They eat too many processed foods, fast foods, and junk foods. Yeah, you know that you're not eating enough fruits and vegetables, but it's like, John, it's so hard to eat fruits and vegetables. Well, hey, check it out. What I'll be doing in a second is taking 5 pounds of fruits and vegetables that I got on this cutting board that I'll let you guys know the specific ingredients and why I'm using them in a second. We're going to take the 5 pounds of produce that I can sit there and eat, right? You don't need to buy a juicer to eat these foods. These foods are available commonly at a grocery store and whatnot near you, and surely you don't need to buy juicer. You can just eat this stuff, but eating 5 pounds of produce can be challenging and take actually a lot of time because you want to chew it, each mouthful, into a mush. So I prefer to put that through the juicer and juice it on up and simply get about 40 ounces of juice from 5 pounds of produce. And I could easily drink 40 ounces of juice for breakfast, for example, instead of eating a normal breakfast, and I'm starting my day out right with a myriad of phytochemicals, phytonutrients, vitamins, and minerals. The reason why the vegetables and fruits are so good for us is because they're generally low-calorie foods compared to other foods you're eating. Processed foods, junk foods, even animal foods, they're very high calories, but more importantly, they're low-nutrient foods. The fruits and vegetables, on the other hand, are low-calorie, but high nutrients. So this is the exact opposite of how you guys have probably been eating. I've been eating actually high-nutrient, low-calorie foods now for over 20 years now, including making juices a regular part of my diet. And as much as I like juicing and people go on these juice fasts and they lose weight, I don't want you guys to go on a juice fast to lose weight. I want you to incorporate juicing as a mainstay of your life that you do each and every day. Because as much as you could go on a juice fast and use this juice every day for 30 days and you're definitely going to lose a lot of weight, the problem is you're going to stop the juice fast, you're going to, I lost a lot of weight, and then you're going to go back to doing what you did to gain the weight in the first place, which I don't want you guys to do. So I think a more solid approach, instead of going on a juice fast and using all this stuff for 30 days and juicing, losing weight, is just make this a regular habit and part of your everyday life. Every day generally I wake up and I'll have a juice either for breakfast or for lunch. And then I'll eat my regular lunch or breakfast and then my dinner, and I'll eat healthy food. So besides just making the juicing the part of your everyday routine, I want you guys to eat healthier. And I'm not really going to get into that in any length of time, but what I will say is that I know Dr. Oz just recently put out, if you guys are watching this when it first aired, a 21-day weight loss challenge. And on this, he has an app available on the different app stores. But basically, he's recommending a plant-based diet. He's recommending eating fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and grains and all these kind of things. And it's the plant foods that have all these beneficial phytochemicals and phytonutrients that are going to help you lose weight, and all the highly processed foods and animal foods, encourage weight gain because they are so low in nutrition and have a lot of calories, and our bodies literally can't handle it. So with that, what I want to get into next is actually get into why I'm using this juicer today. This juicer is known as the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite Model C7000. I like this machine because it is known as a slow juicer. A slow juicer runs at a low and slow RPM. It doesn't run at a high speed. It isn't too loud in your kitchen like an airplane taking off in your kitchen like some inexpensive juicers you might find at a health food store or department store. This runs at a low RPM, so it maximizes the nutrition in the juice. This is very important. I know a lot of you guys might be saying, John, man, juicing, it's a waste, man, because you're removing all the fiber. Well, I want to correct you guys that say juicing removes all the fiber. Number one, juicing removes part of the fiber. There's 2 kinds of fiber that have been identified, actually many more, but 2 common types that are talked about: the soluble fiber and the insoluble fiber. right? The soluble fiber is soluble in water, so that comes out when you're making the juice. What you're losing when you're juicing is all the insoluble fiber that does not dissolve in the water. And depending on what you're juicing, so for example, like on a carrots here, carrots are approximately 50% soluble, 50% insoluble. I think it's more like 48, 52, but close enough. And when you juice carrots, you're still going to retain approximately half of the fiber that's in with the juice because it's a soluble type of fiber. And the soluble type of fiber is actually, in some cases, a more important type of fiber than the insoluble. But that being said, we should get enough fiber in our diets nonetheless. And that's why I recommend juicing once a day. You're going to get some soluble fiber. And then other parts of the day, of course, you want to have a healthy salad, a healthy, a recipe made with vegetable soup and all these other things, and beans and legumes and all these things. They're quite healthy sources of fiber, but maybe not necessarily when you're drinking your juice. Because let me tell you, removing the fiber definitely helps you out. It allows your body to basically uptake more nutrition than keeping the fiber in. When you blend up things, or even if you chew things up, you may not get optimal digestion because, especially if you're chewing, you're not chewing up, long enough. And if you're eating the fiber with the foods you're eating, the insoluble fiber, then your body's gonna have to deal with that. But when you drink it in a juice form and you've removed all the insoluble fiber, the villi in your intestines have an easy time to basically suck up, for lack of a better word, the nutrients in the juice, so you could have better and more immediate access to them so that they could benefit you and your body. Now, another reason why I like the slow juicing instead of the high-speed juicing or even the blending is because there's documented scientific journal published studies that show when you juice, for example, broccoli at a low speed or a high speed or even a blender, and then you measure that for polyphenol content, which is basically antioxidant. There's more polyphenol content in the juice made with the slow juicer. So you might be saying, John, why does that matter, polyphenol content? Well, here's the thing. They took the polyphenol content and the juices that were produced in the low speed, the high speed, and the blender, and then they put that in a petri dish with 6 different kinds of cancer. And the juice that had the most cancer inhibition was the juice made with the slow juicer overall. I mean, in some cases, the other types were more effective on certain types of cancer, but overall, the slow juicer was much more effective, which basically shows that, if you're going to do something and take the time to do it right. I mean, that's what I learned in grade school. So that's why I want to use a slow juicer to give my body every possible advantage to get healthy, absorb the phytonutrients and phytochemicals, and shed the weight if I needed to do that. Anyways, I got only into this because of health challenges. I was overweight when I was younger. I also had things like asthma, allergies, eczema, and even things like I got actually the spinal meningitis, which was caused by complement immune deficiency, which is a chronically weak immune system, which the doctor diagnosed me with. And he said he blamed it on my genes. Well, since that time, I've had to actually turn my life around. I've been living on this lifestyle now for over 20 years, juicing almost every day that I'm at home. And I've learned the right foods to eat. So what I want to do in this episode is actually just share with you guys my special juice recipe that I would use if I needed to lose weight. And I've basically formulated this recipe based around specific fruits and vegetables that have been shown to be helpful with not only weight loss, and in some cases also inflammation, and I have some other ingredients in there for specific reasons. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the specific ingredients in my recipe today. So as you guys can see, I got a cutting board here full of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. Now I have 10 ingredients on this cutting board that I'll be making a juice out of today. And let me go ahead and introduce them and share with you guys why each ingredient is so critical to include in your juice. That being said, before I get into that, I did want to let you guys know that you don't need to drink this particular juice recipe to lose weight when juicing, When I got into juicing, actually I juiced nothing but carrots and just would not eat breakfast and just drink carrot juice for breakfast and carrot juice as a mid-afternoon snack and still have my normal lunch and dinner, try to eat on the healthy side, and I still lost weight. Many people might drink a mean green juice and all this kind of stuff, and they'll also lose weight because there's 2 main points why juicing works. Number 1, you're reducing the amount of calories you're going to be consuming because the fruits and the vegetables, guess what? They're mostly water. They're going to be you're going to be consuming mostly water. It's also going to be very hydrating, so you could shed the extra, puffiness and bloat you may have because you may be dehydrated and retaining too much sodium. If you're eating processed foods, you're probably eating too much sodium. But the other thing that's very important about the fresh fruit and vegetable juices, besides the low calorie, is because there are a plethora of phytonutrients and phytochemicals. The phytonutrients and phytochemicals are so valuable to us, and they're not really talked about enough in our standard news media and society. But there's documented research on how these phytonutrients and phytochemicals are so valuable. So actually, let's go ahead and get in to this recipe. The mainstay of this recipe are the purple carrots. These are purple carrots here. Have you guys ever seen the purple carrots? Depending on where you live, they may be easy or they may be harder to purchase. If you have a local Whole Foods around you, you could buy purple carrots there. They cost you an arm and a leg, literally, at Whole Foods. If you have a Trader Joe's near you, they sell a bag of mixed carrots, including the purples. That's how I get these. Also, stores like Sprouts, Farmers Markets, they'll also sell the purple carrots in a mixed bag for less money. So I try to dig through the different bags that have the rainbow colors and find the bag that has like 6 or 8 of the purple ones, because that's the ones that I really want to get. Not to say that other colored carrots are not valuable, but the purple ones are special carrots. So, of course, I also recommend you guys grow your own purple carrots and or visit farmers markets to find them if you're not able. And if you can't get the purple carrots, don't worry. Just substitute in the orange carrots. But for reasons that I'll share with you guys now, you'll find that the purple carrots are much more desirable. So the reason why I include the purple carrots in this recipe specifically is because there's some documented research where scientists basically did some testing on mice, which I actually don't approve of testing on mice. I think it's mean, cruel, and unusual punishment. But what they did was they fed mice a standard American diet, including water sweetened with high fructose corn syrup, to simulate a standard American diet. Maybe like a diet many of you guys are eating right now that got you to the weight you're at. And, guess what happened when the mice ate a junk food diet with high fructose corn syrup water simulating soda? They gained weight. Their artery function did not work as well. They had diabetes and all these kind of things. Maybe some of the issues that you guys might be having. Now, I want to say that we are not mice, but, I believe that, these foods will react in a similar way as us. Of course, this is not scientifically proven at this point. But, so anyways, the mice got really messed up, right? They got overweight, they had sickness and all these things. And so what they did was they found out, okay, this food definitely makes them sick. Well, let's see if we could reverse that. So the only thing they did, they kept feeding the mice the junk food, right? But in addition to the junk food, they juiced and fed them purple carrot juice. That's the only thing they changed in this scientific study. And after they changed and gave the mice the purple carrot juice, they started to lose weight. They also, lessened their heart disease situation. They also improved their blood sugar status or diabetes in their little bodies. And so this is amazing. I mean, they didn't even cut out the thing that caused the problem, which is the junk food. So I want you guys not to continue on junk food and make this juice recipe every day. I want you guys to minimize, eliminate the junk food, the processed foods, and the animal foods to the extent that you're able. I mean, John, I love my hamburgers. Well, fine. Have a hamburger once a week as a treat on Friday after you've made this juice the whole week, right? I'm not going to say eliminate things that you like, but I will say that you guys should minimize and or just exclude them entirely if they're not serving you, if they're not giving you the body that you want. If they're not doing what you need to do, then you need to lose it because it's not helping you out. Anyways, the purple carrots, the reason why they're so beneficial, and I got 5 purple carrots in this recipe, about a pound's worth, is because they have these compounds known as anthocyanins. And this is the purple pigment. This is a very important pigment in the body. When we eat it, it goes to work instantly in our blood vessels to do many things, including decreasing inflammation and fighting free radicals and who knows what else. So all I know is that I want to get these purple foods into me. So purple carrots are an excellent way to do that, as well as things like blueberries, the outsides of the eggplants, black, wild rice or forbidden rice. you know, you want to eat dark colored pigmented foods, whether you're juicing them or not. So the next ingredient I'll be adding to my juice today are the beets. And you're thinking, John, the beets, they're a dark color, right? Because I'm using the red beets. Do they have the same anthocyanins that like the carrots do? Unfortunately, they don't. They have other plant nutrients or plant metabolites that are healthy for you, including betalains. Betalains can help protect you from radiation, as well as them on themselves are very powerful antioxidants. Plus, they contain nitrates that can help basically unstiffen your arteries and whatnot inside you. You know, sports athletes and stuff are known to like pound a bunch of beet juice before they, you know, go into competition, and then they're going to perform better. So yeah, we got a half a beet in there. Now, one of the things I've done is I formulated this recipe so that it's not going to be too hardcore and taste really nasty when you make it, you know. I tried to put realistic proportions of some of these foods so that, you know, the flavor is not super objectionable for you. And this is the recipe I'm using. Of course, feel free to tailor it to your own specific needs. You know, add more of this, take away a little bit of that. You don't have to make this exact recipe, but I made this recipe for a specific reason, and so I would encourage you guys to follow it. All right, so the other thing we're going to juice is this guy. This is the red or purple cabbage. And once again, much like the carrots, this is also a nice purple color, also has the anthocyanins. But aside from the anthocyanins in the purple cabbage, cabbage is also a member of the cruciferous family of vegetables. These include vegetables such as collard greens, kale, cauliflower, and broccoli, and arugula, bok choy, right? There's been scientific research that shows these family of plants contain isothiocyanates, which are actually cancer protective and may be helpful against cancer. When I talked earlier, I talked about the broccoli experiment they did, and the broccoli juice had more cancer inhibition from a slow juicer than from a blender or a high-speed juicer. So that's one of the reasons why I got the cabbage in here, for the anti-cancer properties as well as the nice purple pigments. Now, I want to let you guys know that, each one of these foods I see as a functional food, and I want to encourage you guys to eat foods that are functional. Foods that, besides just filling your belly, they're giving you something that's really going to allow you to better your health, I can't say that there's all these different phytonutrients and phytochemicals in white bread, so I would encourage you guys to reduce, eliminate, or, just get rid of it altogether. So the next ingredient that I'll be adding to the juice today is one nice large cucumber. Cucumbers are really hydrating for you. They're really rich in water, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm adding them in a nice large quantity. This one happens to be like 14 ounces, and because I wanted to really add a nice lot of neutral flavor or water to the juice. It's also rich in many of its own vitamins and minerals, but one of the reasons why I like the cucumbers is because they contain a lot of soluble fiber that will help slow down your digestion, so you're going to get a higher uptake of some of the nutrients that we're creating today in this juice. So the next ingredient that I'll be using in the recipe today, I simply have 2 apples, and these are a pretty commonly available fruit here. And don't underestimate the power of the apple. There's a good old saying, an apple a day keeps a doctor away, and I definitely believe it. You want to eat some apples each and every day. I mean, apples are the original fast food. Instead of reaching for that candy bar or that cookie, reach for an apple, man. Grab an apple, grab a banana, grab an orange. But anyways, today we're talking about the apples, and the reason why I like the apples so much is, aside from all the different nutrients in apples, one of the main nutrients I like that's in apples is the quercetin. And the quercetin, as studies have shown, can help you reduce stress. And if you have a reduction in stress, then you may have a reduction in the cortisol. And some people say the cortisol causes the belly fat. So, I picked out many of these different foods very carefully to have specific, reasons why I'm putting them in. And as much as it may help you reduce your stress levels, the apples, right, it also adds a nice sweetness to the juice. Now, here's my tip. When you guys are picking out the apples to juice, I always encourage you, especially when using a slow juicer, pick out a nice, hard, firm apple. Don't get a soft apple. If you could dent it and it's soft, you don't want to juice it, because in a slow juicer, it's going to make more of an applesauce than an apple juice. So you want to get a nice, firm apple, number 1. And number 2, you want to get a nice, deep, dark, rich colored apple. The deeper the coloring on the apple skin, the more nutrients it contains, because, the phytonutrients are the coloring. So if you can get like those dark, deep, rich, almost red-purple Empire apples, those would be great. I got the red delicious ones here today. So the next ingredient that I'll be using today in this recipe, I got 5 stalks of the celery. Now I'm putting the celery in there for a multitude of reasons. Number one, it adds a nice water to the juice recipe, so it's going to dilute some of the other more stronger hardcore ingredients. Number two, it is rich in electrolytes, sodium and other different minerals, including trace minerals. It's going to give you a good shot of the electrolytes to keep your body functioning properly. And it's also very hydrating because it's high in water content. Plus it has these things known as phthalates, which can help lower your blood pressure. I mean, every fruit and vegetable is completely amazing. They each have their own benefits. So, you know, one of the things I encourage you guys to do, as much as I'm giving you guys a recipe today, is to don't just drink this recipe every day. Mix it up and drink different things each and every day, different colors of fruits and vegetables. Try juicing and making your own juice creations so you're not drinking this recipe each and every day, you know, which you could do if you guys wanted to. But every day what I juice is I juice something different. I juice whatever's ripe in my garden that I got to harvest and use, whatever's on sale, you know, at the grocery store that week that's organic. Yeah, I just switch it up all the time. Anyway, celery, amazing thing to add to this recipe. Next, let's talk about one of the heavy hitters here that I'll be juicing today, and that is the turmeric. The reason why I have the turmeric in the juice recipe today is because of its anti-inflammatory action. It's probably one of the most anti-inflammatory foods on the entire planet, and I know it's a food, unless you're maybe of Indian descent, it's something that you're actually not eating too often, and you should include it more. You know, inflammation is implicated in many different disease processes in the body. So, you know, one of the things you really want to do, especially if you're trying to lose weight, is cut the inflammation, because inflammation could cause many different problems. And so a lot of these foods actually on their own are anti-inflammatory, but when you're combining them all, you're going to get more of a synergistic effect. You know, there's many documented research studies on turmeric and their curcumin and other curcuminoids that are inside the turmeric and how beneficial they are. I'm not really going to get into a lot of those. I will say that turmeric is actually quite strong and potent. So we're just using a little piece today. I think it's about 1/3 of an ounce, so not really that much. This is the hardest vegetable that you may need to find if you're making this juice recipe. If you go to a special Asian store, they may have it, and some better health food stores may have it as well. Whole Foods or Sprouts Farmers Markets, I know, sells a turmeric, but most grocery stores may not sell it. Now, if you're not able to get the turmeric whole root, which is what I would recommend, number one, you could always get some powdered turmeric and add it into your juice after you're done. I actually personally don't recommend that, but it'd be better than not using it at all. The next thing I'll be using, I got these nice tomatoes here. These are brown tomatoes, so instead of just the standard red colored tomatoes, these are nice, dark, deep, rich, pigmented tomatoes. These have higher anthocyanidins than standard tomatoes. In addition, these also contain some lycopene, which is in regular tomatoes. So I added that here for, once again, an extra blast of the phytonutrients and the phytochemicals. So the next ingredient I'll be using in my recipe today is this guy. This is the hot pepper, and this is one actually I grew in my garden. So I don't care what variety of hot pepper you guys use, whether that's a cayenne or serrano or habanero, whatever you could find. But what I do care about is that you guys get one that's nice and full, rich colored. You want to get one that's like red or orange or yellow. Don't get the ones that are green, right? The ones that are green are unripe peppers, and when the fruit's unripe, it's not going to have the same level of phytonutrients as one that is unripe, because the plant has not been on the vine for a longer period of time to create all the different flavonoids and phytochemicals and phytonutrients, because it is sitting on the vine longer. Plus, because this is red, you know, it's more nutritious than just a standard green pepper. Now, the peppers, or the hot peppers specifically, have these things known as capsaicin, and this is what gives peppers the heat. And the capsaicin is said to have a thermogenic effect in your body that can actually help you guys burn the fat. Now, I'm not putting a ton of hot peppers in there because, man, this could really make your juice off the charts unless you're maybe from South America or Central America where you can handle the heat. Just use one. And so, for some of you guys, you might have to put like half of one depending on the kind of hot pepper you guys get. So far, so good. We've gone through 9 different ingredients, and these are the main ingredients of the juice recipe here. And the last ingredient, the 10th ingredient, may actually surprise you. I got one avocado that I'm going to be juicing. Probably scratching your head right now. John, how could you juice an avocado? Nobody ever juices avocados. Avocados are too soft to juice. They're just going to mush up on you. Well, here's the thing. This avocado, or the one that I'm actually juicing, which is right here, has actually been, I peeled it, so that's number one. You want to get rid of the skin. There's toxin in the skin we do not want to be eating. Number two, you want to keep the seed in there. So the seed's basically been quartered up, and we're just going to juice the unripe avocado, seed and all, in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite. And the reason why I'm juicing the avocado, and yes, you can juice them when they're nice, hard, and firm. I don't recommend eating them this way, but juicing them, that's the only way I recommend using them. Don't get a ripe one. You want to get one as hard as you can, which happens often if you go to stores, because you probably usually want a ripe one. Just buy the nice, hardest one you can, and you want to peel off the skin, and you're just going to throw that into the juice. Now, I'm doing that for a few reasons, okay? Number one, it's going to add healthy fats. Healthy fats, and avocados contain no cholesterol because they don't come from an animal. So this is, not like the cholesterol that could be bad, that's in, things like dairy and milk and eggs and meats, right? No cholesterol in the avocado. But the reason why I'm doing it is because it adds healthy fats into the juice. So when there's fats in your juice, right, it slows down your digestive system along with the soluble fiber, so that means you're going to get a greater uptake of some of the special phytonutrients and phytochemicals in the juice recipe. For example, the curcuminoids is enhanced when taking it with some fat, so that's why I'm juicing some of the avocado. So the other reason why I'm going to be juicing the avocado today is because it's the fruit that is highest in a phytonutrient known as lutein. Lutein is also in things like kale and whatnot, or marigolds actually is another thing that comes to mind that has a high lutein. But lutein is a phytonutrient that's good for your eyes, and some studies suggest that it may be helpful against cancer as well. So yeah, that's all 10 ingredients that I'll be juicing today. I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the juicing. So now I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to be juicing all these ingredients, because it does make a difference. High speed versus low speed machines. I'm totally for only juicing in low speed machines if you're able. Of course, using a high speed machine instead of not doing anything is definitely better, and be sure to check the link down below for a nice high speed machine that's actually costs less than one of these slow machines. But if you're really into your health and dedicated to weight loss and lifelong changes, I do encourage you guys to get a good high quality juicer, such as the one I'm using today. The Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite is a juicer that I recommend for people that want to juice fast but still maintain a high level of nutrition in the juice. And besides just making the juices, it'll also allow you to get rid of that ice cream that you still may be stacking on for dessert. You could now process frozen fruits and make a frozen fruit sorbet that has consistency similar to ice cream. In addition, you could also make low RPM smoothies. Unlike high RPM smoothies that you would make in a blender, the low RPM smoothie in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite is not going to oxidize the nutrients as much as a high RPM blender would. So be sure to click that link down below. I'll put below this video where I share more about this specific juicer. I'm not going to get into that now because I just want to get into juicing all my stuff. So today what I'll be using is actually using a sieve to actually strain out some of the extra fiber in the juice, some of the insoluble fiber that does not dissolve in the liquid. This is a completely optional step. If you don't mind drinking the fiber, actually I would encourage you guys to keep it in there. The Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite will keep some fiber in the juice. That's a good thing or a bad thing depending on your preferences, but overall I would encourage you guys to drink it. I'm just removing it today to show you guys how much fiber is created with this juicer. I think that's pretty much. Oh, and the other thing I like about this machine is that it has a nice wide 3-inch feed chute. So this is the widest feed chute on any slow juicer that's available on the market today. And the reason why I like this is because it allows you to put, things like whole cucumbers right down the feed chute, without having to pre-cut it. In addition, I'm juicing some of that cabbage. I'll just be able to dunk the whole piece of cabbage in there without having to cut it up into little small pieces like you might have to do on some juicers. So it's pretty much easy to juice all this stuff. I guess we'll go ahead and turn this juicer on and we're going to start juicing stuff. What I do recommend first is always juicing something soft and watery. So we're going to just go ahead and maybe throw in an apple in there. Maybe we'll throw in a whole tomato. No problem whatsoever. Maybe we'll throw in, we'll start to throw in a carrot. We can just drop the carrot in there. And when using the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite, you don't want to use that pusher. If you're using the pusher, you may be pushing things in too quickly into the machine. Once that goes through, then we can just drop another apple in there. It's just going to suck it in, and once you see the apple disappeared, we're going to go ahead and throw that cabbage in there. And then we're going to go ahead and push it in with a little bit of a carrot. And we got that cabbage already going into the machine. It's going to be a bit louder on the cabbage. That's all right. We're going to go ahead and follow that with an apple here. And once it's got that apple going through there, we're then going to drop in the carrot. Man, I wish you guys could see the coloring that's coming out of the juicing screen here. You can kind of see it coming out of the spout here. It's really nice, deep, rich, and purple. That's like sexy to me, man. Purple juice. All right, threw in another apple here. And you know, we want to juice most of the celery last, but we're going to go ahead and throw in a little bit of celery now. Let it crush some of that celery up. And let's see, next up, we haven't juiced any of that avocado next. We're going to go ahead and dump in that avocado. Let's see how the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer does with the avocado. And drop in another piece of apple. Even that pit of the avocado, no problem for the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite. It took it, crushed it up, and extracted all the nutrients. Let's go ahead and throw in some more avocado in there. And let's go ahead and throw this guy in, the turmeric. One whole little piece of turmeric going right in. And we haven't even juiced our cucumber yet, so let's follow that turmeric with this cucumber. Now, one of the things you may notice on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite is that not all the produce is going down in the machine. So when that happens in the feed chute, then I encourage you to you know, maybe take a carrot, or at this point you could take the pusher to you know, make sure some of that produce is getting fed in. As you guys can see, we're making a lot of juice here. We're going to have to shake down our sieve here. Next, let's go ahead and throw in that half a beet right down in the machine. Follow that by some celery. All right, now I think we're ready for the heat, man. Turn up the heat. We're juicing that pepper right in the machine. Seeds and all, no problem for the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite. Oh, man, I love the beet juice as it's coming out. It's so nice, rich, deep, red, purple color. All right, let's go ahead and juice another piece of avocado in there. Let's go ahead and juice the rest of our cabbage, going right in the machine. Sucks it right up, no problem whatsoever. You know, I want to talk for a second to you guys about the slow juicing technology. Slow juicing technology has advanced much since when it was first invented, maybe in the 1990s. This is the latest and greatest technology for juicing. It's the kind that I recommend too. There's many different slow juicers on the market, whether you got a horizontal single auger juicer, whether you got a vertical single auger juicer, or whether you got something like a twin gear juicer, or even a standard cold press juicer. They're all considered cold press juicers and slow juicers. They're going to maximize the amount of nutrition. Now, if you're new into juicing, the one I would recommend for you, especially for this particular recipe, is a vertical slow juicer, such as the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer I'm using today. It's basically the fastest and easiest to use and clean. All right, let's go ahead and juice another piece of celery there. So, special thing on the celery, when we're juicing the celery, I'm not just sticking it in and dropping it in like I do with the carrots, right? I'm letting the juicer chew off a little bit at a time, and then I pull it on out. This ensures that those nice long celery strings will not clog up the juicer too much. This is very important. Otherwise, if you don't want to do it like this, then I do encourage you to chop up your celery into like 1/8-inch pieces. That's going to ensure minimal clogging and jamming with the machine. As you guys can see, the pulp is flowing out of the machine very, quite nicely. This is very important. If your pulp stops flowing out of the machine's jamming up, then that means you're not doing something right and you need to change how you're juicing. Now, I do like the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. Has a nice long warranty. Now that's very important. This should be a consideration for you guys when you're buying a juicer, right? Some juicers may have a short 1-year warranty. Some juicers may have like a warranty. Oh, there's a 10-year warranty or a lifetime warranty on the motor. Well, let me tell you, the motor is the least likely thing to fail on any juicer. So I encourage you guys to get a juicer that has a nice long warranty on the motor as well as the rest of the parts. The Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite has a nice long 10-year warranty. So that means if it ever fails due to manufacturer's defect in the 10 years, you're going to be covered and they're going to go ahead and repair and or replace the machine so you guys can continue to get your fresh fruit and vegetable juice on. You know, I've sold juicers to many people. I get reports literally every week of people that lost weight by juicing. Hopefully now they can supercharge their weight loss by using the specific recipe that I've shared with you guys today. So the nice long warranty is your assurance that you'll be able to get your fresh juice every day, because I'll have people that are like, John, I need my juice every day, my juicer broke, what do I do? All right? I'm like, well, hey, call Kuvings up and they'll take care of you. They'll get you fixed up as soon as possible so you can continue to juice and continue to get the benefits from the fresh fruits and vegetables in higher quantities than you would normally eat. I mean, that's a big, huge challenge in America today, is that people are not eating enough fruits and vegetables. But when you juice them, it literally makes eating the fruits and vegetables fun. I wouldn't have had too much fun eating 5 pounds of produce that I showed you guys on the table here today. But what I've done is I've basically juiced all 5 pounds of produce, and I'm creating some over a quart of vegetable juice that's going to be delicious and nutritious to drink. I think I'm almost about done. I had too much of this stuff on the table, and we got one last piece of celery. I would encourage you guys always to juice the celery as last. So we're feeding a little bit of the celery in at a time, also allowing the juicer to pull down some of the excess pulp that hasn't actually gotten ejected in the machine. All right, now that we got that last piece of celery going in there, it's pulling in some of the additional fiber and pulp in the top of the machine. And the main thing is, when using a slow juicer, is you want to let it run. You know, don't just put the last produce item in and then turn it off, right? If pulp is still flowing out of the ejection port and juice is still flowing out of the spout here, you want to let it run maybe even another minute or so. So we're just going to go ahead and let this run maybe about another 30 seconds or a minute, and we'll come back at you when we're ready to drink the juice. Alright, so it looks like the juicer's done juicing. No pulp is coming out anymore, and there's just some last drips. So we're just going to go ahead and close this spout cap, which I like a lot. Move this out of the way and bring our juice front and center for you guys. We're going to go ahead and shake out any pulp that came into the juicer. And as you guys can see, there's just a small bit of pulp that the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer Elite made. And you know, we made approximately, wow, like we made 6 cups of juice when juicing about 5 pounds of vegetables. So this is actually quite an impressive yield. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a glass. We're going to go ahead and show you guys the consistency on this juice. Once again, we got all the insoluble fiber removed and kept most of the soluble fiber. Nice, real thin consistency, especially after straining. And look at that color. This is the kind of color of the juice I want you guys to drink. It's a nice, rich, deep, red-purple color. This is a sign of those special anthocyanins that are probably going to help you lose weight and get healthy. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to supercharge our juice. You know, there is research on turmeric that shows, you know, adding some fat when consuming turmeric will increase the amount of nutrients you're going to absorb from the turmeric, as well as with other fruits and vegetables. But another thing with the turmeric is that you should add some pepper. So we just got some standard pepper here, and peppercorns, black, green, and white. So just to spice this up and make sure we get more nutrition from that turmeric, we're just going to go ahead and just a few you know, grinds in there to add a little bit of pepper. We're then going to go ahead and take that glass straw, mix that up really nice. You're probably not even going to taste that pepper. And now we're going to go ahead and drink and enjoy. You know what? That's one of the best juice recipes I've ever created. Now I want to warn you guys, right? I definitely feel the heat. My mouth is nice and warm right now, but that's good because it's winter time right now and many of you guys might be cold, so having some peppers in your life is going to warm you up a little bit. You know, if you're not too daring, you might want to start out with half a pepper or a quarter of a pepper, and definitely use one of the ones that are not quite as hot. So jalapenos, it's going to be one of the ones that aren't quite as hot as one of the ones I use. I think it's on the level of a serrano, and unless you're like, you know, really into hot peppers, don't use a habanero, because that one, you're going to be like overheated. But other than that, man, this has a really nice flavor. I mean, to me, this tastes really neutral. I mean, you taste the vegetables in there, but it's not like, I've made some juices where I've actually had to plug my nose and chug it down. But basically I formulated this recipe, with a lot of nice watery ingredients, the apples, the celery, and the cucumber, but also with a lot of rich phytonutrient ingredients as well. The carrots actually have a nice sweet flavor even if you juice them on their own, but I think it's better to juice them all together like this to get their synergistic effects, when juicing with the things like the fat and the turmeric for the high antioxidant potential of those foods. So finally, I want to let you guys know, while juicing is no magical cure to lose weight, it is and should be part of a healthy diet that is focused around plants. Even if you're not going to go vegan or whatever, I don't really care. What I do care about is that you guys include more fresh fruits and vegetables in your life, because you will achieve the benefits from that. I want to know, use my juice recipe, use it for 10 days, right? And leave comments down below to let me know how my juice recipe worked for you. I formulated this not only for people to lose weight, but for people to maximize their amounts of phytonutrients and phytochemicals they get in them with some of the healthiest foods on the planet. And this is what I drink, and this is why I'm drinking this juice for you guys today. And I'm confident it can help you like it's helped me, and I look forward to reading all your testimonials down below. That being said, as much as this juice is really healthy, I do also encourage you guys to drink other juices and come up with your own recipes so that you guys could get a myriad and a full wide spectrum of fruits and vegetables in your diet, because each one is, as much as the cabbage has certain phytonutrients, every different fruit and vegetable have a different spectrum of these different phytonutrients and phytochemicals that are going to help your body fight disease, fight inflammation, fight disease, and more importantly, lose weight. Of course, you'll also get things like having more energy, because juice is one of the easiest things to digest. And after going through, Christmas recently and eating those big Christmas meals and getting tired after you're done eating because all the food that you just ate, now your body has to use a lot of energy to digest it. Juice is the easiest thing. So my recommendation for drinking juice is to basically wake up in the morning and make your juice straight off and just skip breakfast. You don't need breakfast. Drink your fresh juice and drink a nice quantity of juice. I didn't make just 16 ounces of juice. I made 6 cups of juice. Minimum I like to drink 32 ounces. Maximum, if I'm getting around 6-7 cups, this is like basically a meal replacement, and this is one of the best meal replacements you guys could ever get into, because it's full of phytonutrients and phytochemicals, high in water content, which is also going to keep you hydrated, which is also very important for weight loss, but more importantly, it's low in calories compared to other foods that you would be eating. So anyways, with that, if you guys enjoyed this episode, enjoyed this format, hey, please be sure to give me a thumbs up to let me know. That'll encourage me to do more videos like this where I share my special recipes with you guys. Also, be sure to share this video with somebody, that you're trying to help them lose weight. Maybe you get a buddy system and you guys both could get a juicer and start making these juices and keep tabs on each other and make sure you stay up to date and continue to juice each and every day. I think this video can help so many people in so many ways if it is watched more and shared more. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on any of my new and upcoming episodes I've coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know what kind of juice recipe I'll be sharing with you guys, or what kind of juicer demonstration or juicer comparison I'll be sharing with you guys, because I'm all about sharing with you guys the latest and greatest technology and kitchen appliances that will allow you to get the healthiest foods on the planet into you, the fruits and the vegetables. Also, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 450 videos on this YouTube channel dedicated to teaching you guys all about eating more fruits and vegetables, testing different juicers, blenders, and dehydrators so you guys can get the right juicer for you. Also, I'd encourage you guys, if you guys enjoyed this episode and liked me and my work, please support me and my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me to continue to make these educational videos for you guys, to share with you guys simply what I've learned over the last 20 plus years of eating a healthy diet, as well as incorporating juicing into my life. So with that, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and I know a lot of you guys watching this video right now might be in the market for a juicer. You're shopping for a juicer and you want to get the best one, and thank God you found my videos, because I am the juicing expert that's going to share with you guys and show you guys actually in the videos